back then, Kibzu did win, if I remember correctly, because he did take that entire lab. This time, let's see if Afro Smash has something else to say about that. And already some really nice baiting by Kibzu on the dash attack.
Yeah, seeing that, putting Afro into a position where it's like, I'm not going to let you charge shot, but I'm also not going to let you dash attack, you know. Finding those moments where he can be aggressive and patient at the same time.
Yep, it's all about those burst ranges, and that really is the name of the game when you're playing versus Samus. And one of those things that really make this matchup a struggle for Samus are needles. Even when you're half a stage away, a single needle can ruin your entire charge shot.
Yep.
So you really need to take the time. Once again, you need to build up the early percents, get a good hit in, and that's when you start getting the charge shot charged, and you start leveraging the charge shot pressure. Yeah. Until then is when the game is probably at its hardest. So let's see how Afro Smash gets past that early obstacle in this matchup.
Wow. I don't know if that was incredible SDI or just like the move being a little bit faulty, but escaping the jaws of death.
For sure, and all that rage on Samus, that really is important. However, Kibzu, of course, very aware of how to close a stock versus Samus.
Closing that immediately, and yeah, as you were mentioning before, it's really, really difficult for Samus to maintain and control space in this matchup versus a character like Sheik, who not only has those needles, but her zone breaking options are so good. That fast run speed, her really solid dash grab, and just her overall movement in general makes it really difficult for Samus to get her zoning in place.
And like I've mentioned before, it really comes down to utilizing that charge shot, because that's not only your keep away core, it's also your kill move.
Yep.
As well as your damage wrecking in a lot of situations. So at these percents, these 100%, once you do get that grab, you charge the charge shot. It's now nearly fully charged, and this is where Sheik starts getting scared. And this is where I want to see how Afro Smash utilizes that charge shot pressure. Look at these empty jumps, and using that time that Kibzu is cowering in shield to get out those strong aerials. But Kibzu, very aware of that dynamic, and he's making the right calls to break that zone, as you mentioned before. But Afro Smash already getting the kill, and now he does still have charge shot on deck.
Charge shot and quite a bit of rage to his name.
And the difference between this stock and last stock is that, outside of the obvious percentage lead for Kibzu, is that Afro Smash, if he does land that charge shot, that is gonna vortex into more charge shot charge and more pressure in the neutral. And look at that.
Ooh, unfortunately that time it was a trade, so of course Afro not able to charge the charge shot. Back air to Bouncy Fish, not quite enough just yet.
Pretty much ideal for Kibzu, getting rid of that charge shot charge, and without getting the control of the game taken away from him.
Yes.
And immediately afterwards closing it out. Very well done by Kibzu. It really shows how well acquainted he is with this matchup, because his play is so methodical.
Yeah, that was a call out on that habit right there. Of course, the neutral air from Sheik really good at covering multiple ledge options, but he confidently covered the neutral get up, because that is a habit of Afro Smashers. He does tend to opt for the neutral get up if he's not going for the drop back fair.
Drop back fair, drop back there are two of Samus' stronger options, and especially versus a character like Sheik, you cannot really get away with the drop jump air dodge options that tend to work versus some of the worst ledge trappers in the game. However, Sheik, so much speed, so much control, and I hope to see Afro Smash make some adjustments here, especially in how he deals with those early percents. And already it's looking a lot better. He got a full charge shot on deck, and a lot of pressure here on Kibzu. Look at those retreating foxtrots by Afro Smash, trying to look for an opportunity to throw out the charge shot, but
went for it there, expecting a knockdown and tech chase situation.
Right,
charge shot being so good at covering multiple options in that scenario.
To the point where you would almost rather just tech in, because it keeps you away from the BlastZones, right?
Double whiff from both players.
That was really tricky because the forward tilt shifted Samus' hurt box a lot, which made the dash grab whiff, and he actually grabs Afro Smash out of the up B startup, so Afro Smash perhaps a little bit too trigger happy, trying to compensate for a badly timed spaced aerial right there. Kibzu very aware of what to do in those situations.
Right, great ledge jump coming out from Kibzu right there.
Ooh, power
Excellent
shield.
power shield.
Back throw gets the DI mix up, but Afro Smash did not panic whatsoever. Just jumped out of the situation. Made it off the platform with a kill to spare. Great turnaround by Afro Smash. And the down tilt as well. Normal get up down tilt. Relatively fast, especially for Samus standards. And that's 12% of damage as well. Charge shot probably putting on a lot of pressure right now.
Yeah, and Afro is more than happy to kind of play in the corner. He can get quite a bit of damage there, provided, of course, he doesn't lose his stock in doing so.
Yep, and that's one of the biggest regrets a man can have is dying with a move charged up. So Afro Smash definitely just gonna throw it out there, hit its target, get that damage, even though his stock is forfeit. Kibzu very smart throwing out that bouncing fish, knowing that Afro Smash wants to leverage the charge shot hit to make it back to the stage. Kibzu immediately responding with that bouncing fish closing out the stock and already putting on a lot of pressure as well.
Now these forward tilts coming out from Afro Smash in general feel like they're doing quite a bit of work this set. Alongside, of course, the boxing with the jabs. We're seeing a lot more solid play in terms of close combat from Afro Smash, I feel that's been quite pivotal in terms of how he's been playing the neutral.
Yeah, and I definitely think there's a change of tone to this set as well, as we see Kibzu rely on shield more for defense rather than for baiting and for beating Afro Smash's attacks. Afro Smash is dropping those bombs, covering that roll, very well done. The jab is going to get power shielded, no punish throw. Kibzu very aware of the Rekha mix-ups that Samus can throw out. Look at that jab, one up tilt that one time. Kibzu does decide to reply to that jab. He gets punished for it, and then it has to work. That has to do damage to your mental game as well. A little bit of a whiff, but that back air, barely gonna survive.
Yeah, all up until that moment, Afro had complete control. His ledge trapping and coverage was fantastic, and taking a stock with that forward tilt. Wow.
Afro Smash making Samus look like a great character.
Yeah.
So much pressure put on by the charge shot, and I really think that is the core of his game plan, and I really think that's the core of what Kibzu has to abuse. Is those early percents during which she just cannot get charge shot. And what we saw in that Battlefield game was so many situations in which Kibzu would take some time to sit on the platform and recollect, regroup, get his own needles, and Samus getting that charge shot for pretty much free.
Yeah, you cannot allow, particularly as a character like Sheik, you cannot allow Samus to get that kill option for basically nothing. You really have to make her work for it.
Okay, so that was actually really interesting. As we saw that game start off, both of the characters threw out their projectiles. However, the needle traded with the missile, which is like the best trade Samus can wish for. That's a 1% needle for a 10% missile. Very strong. And I can imagine the fact that on a minor read, which is pretty much throwing out a needle, right? If Afro Smash does read that, he can get an entire 10% from that missile. That is gonna make it rough for Kibzu to throw out those needles on charge shot charges.
Yes.
Because if he's wrong, he's gonna get a missile to the face, and that's a bad trade. And bad trades is the one thing that Sheik wants to avoid. Because of her oppressive nature, she does not need to take trades.
Worse yet, he could get hit by a partially charged charge shot, which could do even more damage and potentially take that stock relatively early as well.
And look at that, immediately as Afro Smash starts charging his charge shot, Kibzu stops charging his needles and starts running in, putting on that pressure. And especially on a stage like Final Destination, where pressure is relatively one-dimensional since there's no platforms whatsoever. It can be hard to pressure a character like Samus who has such great keep-away tools. The one upside for Kibzu, and what I can imagine is the reason that he went to Final Destination, is that it is going to be really hard for Afro Smash to get out of the air. And look at that, already getting 2 back airs for getting juggled once.
Yeah, he made it through with the skin of his teeth. It really looked like Kibzu had that stock, but Afro barely able to weave away.
He's gonna make it? Not at all.
Excellent
Kibzu.
intimidation from Kibzu. Recognizing that Afro didn't have his jump, he really just went ham off stage and prevented him from coming back.
And that's so smart because you're not really risking much going off stage versus Samus.
Excellent tech chase coming out right there.
That's slight, setting it up.
And a slight walk forward as well to make sure that he had more time to react to the options.
Oh yeah.
Ooh, trying to call out possibly a spot dodge with that charge shot, but instead takes a chunk of damage in return.
Yeah, that's a big swing because if he did have that charge shot, if it did hit, it would have definitely have led into a lot more pressure for Afro Smash. Instead, he is the one on the ledge. He is the one with very few options, but that forward air, definitely one of Samus' best. Jab 1-2 run away.
That is what Sakurai says in the description. Once you land that jab, you know you can't combo into the next one, so it's best to just shield or run away.
And to be fair, Samus does get a lot of reward out of running away, forcing the opponent to once again make it near her. We've seen Afro Smash get those kills with forward tilt. Those are because this opponent is trying to get near him. So if he does get that jab into a reset, hell, if he gets a dash attack which crosses up and goes unpunished, he gets a lot out of it, but not in that situation. Kibzu once again getting the nair to down B.
Once again calling out the neutral get up, ending the same way as game 1 did.
Yep.
I definitely like to see how Afro Smash, will he be able to adapt his off the ledge game? He's very, very good at pressuring the ledge when he's at the advantage, but he's not as good at getting off of it at times.
What I really think he needs to do is force Kibzu to attack him when he's hanging on the ledge. So wait on the ledge and force Kibzu to throw out a down tilt. And while that may lead to a lot of reward if it goes well for Kibzu, it also means that there will be situations in which he can jump or normal get up past those down tilts and make it back safely. Because a lot of players don't realize there is technically a time limit to how long you can hang on the ledge, but 99% of the time players will throw out a hitbox to someone waiting on the ledge if you wait long enough, and utilizing that is really, really important when you're getting ledge trapped. Just waiting and calling out the timing of the opposing hitbox.
Wow, that bouncing fish tearing through both the charge shot and then hitting Afro Smash immediately after. Is that gonna be the stock? Ooh, yes it is. What a great drag down
sequence. Yeah, that bouncing fish definitely, we don't see it kill often because of how staple it is to Sheik's moveset. But
yeah, it's a primary combo finisher.
Yep. But it is a very strong move. It does a lot of damage, and charge shot does do 25%, 26 if I remember correct.
Okay, 26 fresh.
And I think bouncing fish is like 13.
Yep.
So there's a lot of situations in which it will beat out the charge shot, especially since charge shot is such a staple for Samus as well. And Afro Smash getting off the ledge this time. Kibzu going for a little bit of a trump, which is, in my opinion, entirely unnecessary considering how ledge trap has been going for him lately.
Yeah, Afro hasn't really had any opportunities, or there hasn't been any points where he's been sitting on the ledge, expecting the roll in, of course. That is a sensible option to try to read after all players will want to try to get back to center stage.
Yep. Away from the blast zones, away from the ledge. And look at that, once again the normal get-up did get called out by Kibzu, but he wasn't positioned optimally, which made it really hard for him. Okay, he definitely wanted to pull the trigger at first, but it wasn't fully charged. In the end though, Kibzu very aware of Afro Smash's options, and it's going to be so rough for a character like Samus with hardly any kill options to make this happen, but once again, that is the first step to victory.
Will we see a potential Shine Spark coming out from Afro Smash? I feel like he's going to look for that dash attack at around this percent.
I honestly think that Shine Spark is the only thing Kibzu is going to watch out for the upcoming 20%. And just like that, very well done by Kibzu. The thing I like so much about his play is that there's very little hesitation. He has a lot of confidence in the things he's doing.
Yes, absolutely. Just a player that absolutely exudes confidence in how he plays. He's it's definitely a different kind of brand of player to his fellow Sheik Ho, He's a lot more kind of
methodical.
Yeah, methodical, a little bit tentative, but still very, very solid as why he's in the winners finals at the moment.
Yep.